Hello everyone, it's Darkseeker here again. Welcome back for another video. Today we are playing Control's Discard Quest Warlock on the Wild Mode ladder. And I saw Control playing this on his stream and it looked like a lot of fun. I'll be absolutely honest with you, I haven't got a clue how to play this deck. I've watched a couple of games of it and I thought, okay, let's give it a try, because after the Rastakhan expansion, Discard Warlock has got more tools now and it's feeling like more of a complete deck. So some pretty cool interactions that you've got. Malchezaar's Imp on the board with Cataclysm, which means you discard your entire hand and you draw cards. Whilst you're discarding your hand, there are some cards that can benefit from that discard interaction. Silverware Golem will be summoned onto the board when it's discarded. High Priestess Jeklik, when she's discarded, 2 copies of her go back to your hand. What else have we got? Clutch Mother Zavas, when she's discarded, she goes back to your hand with increased stats. You've also got the Soul Warden, which on Battlecry will put copies of discarded cards back into your hand. So it is a strong deck. You can get board presence quite quickly if you're able to complete the quest on turn 4, play it on turn 5. Sometimes the constant stream of 3/2 imps can be too much for your opponent to deal with. So we're going to have a look at a couple of games of this deck in action on the Wild Mode ladder. Unfortunately at this point I've had 0 luck against anything that isn't Jade Druid. So the 2 games we're looking at are going to be 2 Jade Druid games. Jade Druid, the Jade Druids I face were just too slow for this deck. So let's start out now with game number 1. So, in the opening hand, we have our quest, which is pretty good. I don't have a clue about the mulligan, but Cataclysm looks like a decent keep because it gets us closer towards completing our quest. And it's a massive board clear, which is pretty good. I'm really not sure about that 3-drop. I mean, it is a taunt with 2/6 stats. That's semi-decent, I guess. Maybe I shouldn't have kept it. And that 5-drop is not what we want to see. And Raven Idol here from the Druid. Interesting card. Not seen it for ages. And the High Priestess Jeklik, is that how you pronounce it? At least we know we're going to get 2 copies of her when we play Cataclysm. And please notice something here. Raven Idol got him a Jade Idol. He then played a Jade Idol from hand. That's just insane. Absolutely insane. The luck, right? The absolute luck. I mean, it doesn't look like much, but he's essentially moved his Jade train along by +1/+1. It's actually a big deal this early in the game, I think. So lucky. Because if he hadn't got the Jade Idol from Raven Idol, he'd just have a 1/1 on the board at the moment. And now all of his Jade Idol cards, his Jade Golem cards, are just going to be, they're going to be +1/+1 bigger than they otherwise would be. I passed on that last turn, not sure if that was correct. And the reason I passed is because I want to set up Malchezaar's Imp plus Cataclysm. We discard our entire hand, we clear the board, and we draw a load of cards. Now the danger of this, and we get Clutch Mother back to hand, the danger of this is that we draw too many cards. And we possibly end up discarding our quest completion with the portal. And we're so lucky there. The portal was is our 10th card in our hand. So we were in danger of discarding the quest, and if that happened, we'd just probably have to concede, because the quest really, the portal is our value generator. It's our way of maintaining an element of board presence. Without it, I'm not so sure if we'd be able to beat the Jade Druid. Not too fussed about discarding Shriek. And I think while we have an opportunity to do so, we set up the portal. We also don't want to be playing discard effects whilst the portal's in hand, just in case we discard it. We don't want to do that. And he's got 9 mana, which is just typical of Druid, right? Absolutely typical of Druid. So we discard 2 cards here. Okay, that's fair enough. Discard another card. Okay, that's really, really good. 2 more copies back to hand. Feels pretty amazing. Kill off 1 minion so he can't fully trade into our taunt. And make room on the board for some more imps to be summoned. So, the Priestess, there, 3 copies in hand. The stats on her, though, are slightly weak, I think. When you consider the fact that he's going to be summoning big Jade Golems very shortly. And at this point, I really don't know what to do. I know I have to kill the Lich King, but what else I do beyond that, I don't know. Well, at least we know we're going to get the Silverware Golem discarded and then summoned onto the board. I mean, that's positive. But beyond that, I'm really quite clueless. Shriek would discard our Malchezaar's Imp, potentially. Really tempted to play the Soul Warden here. But again, just don't know what the correct ordering is. Don't know how best to go about this turn. So we play the Imp. And we play a Priestess. And we can just continue going face now. We don't need to play Shriek. And yeah, that was bad in the end, actually. I probably should not have played the Priestess because we didn't get the Golem down on the board. Because we didn't have space. So here he goes now with the Jade Golems. He's trying to make them bigger. And eventually his Golem's just going to eat my board up. And there'll be nothing I can do. We do have the other Cataclysm in hand. And that's an interesting play, potentially. Because he's only got 2 cards in hand. The question is, when will we play that Cataclysm? That's the question. Do I just want to hold off on it for a little bit of time? May as well try and get value on Shriek. Discard the Doomsayer is absolutely fine. Put some more cards in our hand. That's pretty decent. Now we're looking to be in a relatively good position. Oh look, 13 attack. Pretty amazing. Wow. So it looks like he didn't have Ultimate Infestation. If he'd had it, would that have won in the game? Alright, second game now against Druid. I see Malchezaar's Imp in hand, I see a Fellhound, I see some kind of link, some kind of synergy there. I'm thinking, okay, seems decent. Again, I don't know if that's the correct way to be thinking about this. Okay. The quest is played. There's Solarium in hand. And that could go very well with Malchezaar's Imp. Okay, let's see what we get. That's fine to go, that's okay. And okay, Fist of Jaraxxus. We'll get some value from that. And draw some good cards. Feels decent. Also feels good to be playing Doomguard again. That's a card that I've not played for a long time. And he realises that he needs to get rid of that Imp. He needs to stop my card draw, that's fair enough.
You are not the boss of me.
But we can keep drawing here. Not too fussed about losing Shriek again, it's fine. I guess if possible we'd want to try and avoid discarding the Doomguard. That's quite an important card. It's 5 attacks, 7 health. That's pretty important. But let's see what happens here. Okay, we get lucky. And we complete the quest. So, quest completed in time for turn 5. And I feel that that is pretty important. This Druid is a very slow player here. He's taking his sweet time. So the sooner we get the quest completed and the portal active, the better it is. So on that turn that you play the portal, costs you 5 mana, the chances are you're not doing anything else. So some people would define that as being quite slow. But if you could play it on turn 5, I think it's really, really good value. Because you're now setting yourself up for these future turns where you're just getting these imps constantly. Okay, we get the Clutch Mother back to hand. That's pretty good. Draw some more cards. Compared to the last game, starting to feel a bit more confident playing this deck at this point. 2 more imps. Decent value. It's worth noting that you know, you can run out of stuff with this deck. You can end up discarding everything, playing everything, and all you're left with is the portal. So I wonder if Bloodreaver Gul'dan is a decent thing to play in this deck, just for an emergency refill. The problem is you're probably going to end up discarding him if you're not careful. But yeah, this is a Doomguard extravaganza here. And I'm filling up this board. I don't care now at this point regarding the portal. I just want to see if I can kill him. And having a 4-4 is better than having a 3-2 in that regard. Although Spreading Plague is not what you want to see. Really not what you want to see. Maybe I was too overzealous there, thinking I could just kill him. No, it's a druid. It's a druid who's ramped up all his mana. Of course he's going to have solutions in hand. Anyway, we could do some trading, but I'm wondering about Cataclysm as well. See, the thing about Cataclysm is, in this instance, it gets the 3-3 on board, and we summon those imps again. So we're in a good position, I think. You'd have to have a second Spreading Plague, or a big taunt. Or that, yeah, Ultimate Infestation. And it's interesting he targeted the Imp, not the Silverware Golem. It's quite interesting.
And you thought you were lost.
So we have the second Cataclysm in hand, which means we'll get another Silverware Golem on the board if he plays the second Spreading Plague. So really, is it Plague or Bust here for him? Swipe's useful. Will it do enough though for him? Nope, and that's it. So the pressure that we were able to put on against the Jade Druids was substantial enough. Let's win. Feels amazing. Okay, so controls Discardlock with the quest. Huge amount of fun. So unpredictable. It's just so engaging as a deck to play. Certainly not overpowered in any sense of the word. Not what you'd call a wild tier 1 deck, you know, similar to Big Priest or even Shaman. It's nowhere close to being as powerful as those decks, but it's so much fun, and the new tools that have been provided through Rastakhan's Rumble have helped this deck immensely to at least be what I would call semi-competitive, and I think that's a good thing. I've seen this deck being played more on Standard as well. I've seen versions with Bloodreaver Gul'dan, and I'm sure there are some refinements to be made to both the Standard and the Wild versions of the deck. And to be honest, you know, this is a deck that I look forward to continue playing. My only problem with this deck is, as I mentioned at the start, I've only been able to beat Jade Druid with it. And I've been facing a few Jade Druids actually. My issue comes with other decks. Big Priest, even Shaman with well-timed Maelstrom Portals, Shudderwock Shaman with Volcanoes, just other decks have been a real struggle for me to beat. I just tend to find that once they get stuff down on the board, the stuff they put down starts to overwhelm the stuff that I put down. A lot of that is probably down to my inexperience of playing the deck. I'm probably making the wrong decisions, not making optimal plays. But to me, at this point, it really doesn't matter. As long as I'm having fun, that's all I care about. And this deck is a lot of fun to play. So thank you very much for joining me, everyone. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, drop me a subscribe. And I'll see you guys all again very soon for more Wild Mode fun.